Hello, everyone, and welcome to Small Talk with the Etsy Collective, an initiative to bring you closer to the change makers, industry veterans, and Etsy sellers, and give you an opportunity to listen to their thoughts, ideas, and find some inspiration that we all need right now. I'm really happy to share with all of you that Etsy Collective completed its 2 year anniversary milestone in August this year. We want to thank all of you for coming along with us in this journey. Your love and enthusiasm and feedback is what keeps us going, and we look forward to many more such milestones with you. Here we have a short celebratory video to play for you.
Hello everybody, we have completed 2 years of Etsy Collective. It has just been an incredible way for people to connect. Etsy's mission is keep commerce human, and I believe that Etsy Collective has been able to work towards that mission and serve that mission in a very effective manner. Here's to 2 years of Etsy Collective and many more to come. I believe that this is absolutely the best platform to keep commerce human in addition to being online on Etsy.com.
Congratulations, Etsy, on completing 2 years of the collective.
This is an amazing milestone. Kudos to you guys. Congratulations.
Has to be the first collective which we had in Bikaner House. I was invited to the event and I absolutely loved it.
I so vividly remember that when I walked into the room, there was so much energy, there was so much enthusiasm. That itself became such an amazing memory for me.
A DIY session at the end of the workshop, I think it's really a stress buster that you get involved, you learn, and you leave the session with a souvenir.
There's so much to learn from so many creative geniuses.
I'm sure it adds a lot of value and provides a lot of insight into the many facets of this industry.
Etsy India team really took on the challenge of making the lockdown successful and informative and educative for all their Etsy sellers.
The entire Etsy team, keep rocking, you guys are doing great.
And thank you for keeping commerce human.
Thanks. It's always so nice to hear from our star Etsy sellers. And with that, I'd like to introduce our team. Sananda Krishna is the PR and marketing lead for Etsy in India. The Etsy Collective has been her passion project for the last 2 years and something that she never tires speaking about. Radhika and Ria are part of the marketing team and behind the scenes stars of this session. They'll also be answering you in the chat box. Anushka is a member of the Seller Success team for today, and she will be answering all your questions related to setting up your Etsy shop. Her team has helped hundreds of sellers in setting their Etsy business up for success. And finally, I'm Ishani Mukherjee, and I'm part of the community and marketing team, and I'll be moderating the session. And now I'd like to introduce our very special guest for today, Shashank from Etsy shop Studio Mianzi. Studio Mianzi focuses on smart, sustainable bamboo-based products. Shashank established Mianzi to revolutionize the way bamboo is seen and used by bringing eco-friendly yet inventive and aesthetic bamboo-built options. Thank you so much, Shashank, for being here with us today.
Thank you, Ishani, for inviting me.
I'll just introduce the agenda briefly. So I'll start by talking a little bit about Etsy and what we are doing globally and in India. Then we'll move on to the main part of our session, which is the fireside chat with the seller. And throughout the session, please send in your questions in the chat box and we'll be taking it in the end of the session. Etsy is a global marketplace for unique and handcrafted goods. We provide creative entrepreneurs with a platform to showcase their work to people from more than 80 countries in the world. We are the only marketplace which focuses on creative entrepreneurs, and we help our community of sellers turn their ideas into successful businesses. Our platform connects our sellers with millions of buyers looking for an alternative, which is something special with a human touch for those moments in life that deserve imagination. Currently, we have 3.1 million active sellers all over the world, selling more than 81 million products to over 60 million active buyers. In a time when automation is increasing so much, it is our mission to keep the human connection at the heart of commerce. And that is why we built a place where creativity lives and thrives, because it's powered by people like you. I'd like to talk a little bit about Etsy's green footprint now. So in 2019, Etsy became the first e-commerce company to offset 100% of carbon emissions from shipping. So for every item that is shipped in our marketplace, Etsy automatically invests in environmental projects to offset the emissions. Since 2019, we have offset over 173,000 metric tons of CO2, which is the equivalent of 20,000 homes' energy use for a year, or charging 22 billion smartphones. And it's not just us as a company who feel responsible to account for our carbon footprint. 90% of our buyers also say that environmental sustainability is really important to them. There are three major categories of goods that can be sold on Etsy. Handmade is anything that you design or make will come under this category, which is also our biggest category of sales. Vintage are items that are at least 20 years old in product age, and craft supplies are anything which can be used to make something new, for instance, materials like fabric, gemstones. This is also the only category that we allow bulk sales in. And lastly, I want to share some trivia that shows that Etsy is built to encourage entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurs pick Etsy for their journey. 95% of our sellers work out of their homes, and 53% of our total sellers sold their first goods on Etsy. So they became entrepreneurs on Etsy. 83% of our sellers are also women, and 90% of our sellers are businesses of one. And there's a reason that entrepreneurs pick Etsy. It's because we believe that entrepreneurship begins with you. And that's why we think that all decisions regarding your shop should be made by you, starting from the price that you want to charge for your products to the shop policies about shipment, returns, and refunds. We also have a lot of seller services and tools which will help you start, manage, and scale your business. The company was founded in 2005, and our headquarters is in Brooklyn, New York. We started a corporate office in India in 2018 in New Delhi, and since then we have tried to engage with the creative community in India, and the Etsy Collective as an event is a result of this objective. Our aim with the Etsy Collective is to build a community of artistic individuals who are curious about Etsy as a platform and want to explore it. And now we have done over 100 sessions with the Etsy Collective. These are all the places that we have gone to do the Etsy Collective session offline. And I want to show you a small video of the Etsy Collective to give you a glimpse of the offline experience, and something that we hope that we can go back to not too far into the future.
I think Etsy was one of the first steps I took, which brought my passion out of just being a passion and into something which could give me, actual money. The ease with which anybody today can take any skill they have and monetize that and turn it into a brand, which is amazing. It means that anybody who has a skill can make it more than just a hobby.
We're not just about selling. Etsy is really about building a community of creative people. And what we've done in India is since last year is that we try through the Etsy Collective to meet with different creative people in different parts of the country. So far we've done about 32 collectives. Almost all the bigger cities we've covered, and now we aim to go to the smaller cities and interact with creative people.
It was great, quite informative. It was worth it.
It's always good to be around Etsy people and the entire communities.
People are very welcoming, and this workshop, everything was good.
Definitely very nostalgic video. It's been a while since we've had an offline session. But I will now move on to our fireside questions. Shashank, first question that I have for you is, if you can start with your background, and can you tell me a little bit about, do you come from a design background, and how has that helped you in your business?
Yes, I have a design background and I'm an architect, and I'm also into creating things and solving problems. Later, I worked as an architect for an year, and the passion for creating things drew me to IDC IIT Bombay, where I studied industrial designing. And I see architecture and industrial designing as a unified subject. And I find them somehow connected, revolving around human experiences, actually. Um, and architecture give me an understanding of a sense of space and the relation between the objects around. And industrial design helped me to understand the problems at the micro level and how to solve them. It mutually helped me to understand how technology can be used to solve problems which we are facing today, and how technology can be integrated with traditional methods to come up with unique solutions.
So, how was Studio Myanzi born? What is the inspiration and mission behind that?
I'll take you to the very start. So the start of Myanzi was as if like all the dots were getting connected. When I was a kid, I often visited my grandfather's rickshaw repair shop with my father. And sometimes I'll help them with small chores, but mostly I'll sit and observe the simplicity of the design of cycle rickshaw and bicycle in amazement. The way they did the repair and restoration came up with a spot. Uh, they come up with a on-spot unique solutions, mostly by hand. That inspired me and made me wonder the efficiency of simple ways. And later, I pursued architecture, and during my third year, uh, there was a design competition which was made into our class project, and we had to participate in the team of two. The competition was by IGBC, that was Indian Green Building Council, and we had to design a zero carbon footprint building. Since I had learned about bamboo and its bending characteristics, we chose this as a material, and we conceived a building made out of living bamboo. So we all know that most of the Indian bamboo species grow in cluster. So the idea was to compress and bend the bamboo what are there in the periphery and the bamboo which are there in the middle. I kept it in tension, thus giving a space in between. And yes, we won the award for the design. And also I want to share one more instance. Uh, when I was pursuing industrial design from IDC IIT Bombay, I did my internship at Uru in Kerala, from where I learned more about bamboo. And the butterfly chair, what you'll see, was first conceived during that time. It took me like 2 months to build this chair in Kerala. But later I worked upon it and made the design more feasible in terms of aesthetic and manufacturability and the ease of transportation. And I mean, I'm very much into bicycling, and the passion and love for bicycle has been ingrained in me since my childhood. I always wished for a geared bicycle when I was a kid, but I didn't had one. After graduating from architecture, I worked for a year as an architect, and meanwhile, my passion to create things, I made a bamboo bicycle from the scrapyard. Which was en route my daily commute to my office. Later on, I took this passion as my project in IDC. And yes, so and today we are still working upon it and trying to make this one electric. So yes, all these instances of mine made me think and question myself that why can't we take this material and make products out of which can be functionally and comparable, which can be functionally and quality wise, it can be comparable to any other products that are made out of plastic or wood or metal, let's say. And that's how Mianzi came into being.
I absolutely love the brand story, and the photography is just beautiful. It's really stunning. Can you? I'll just we'll talk much more about the material and your brand, but I wanted to know, out of like all the plethora of selling platforms, why did you choose to sell online, and within online platforms as well, why did you choose Etsy, and how has your experience been?
Yeah, Ishani, initially we received some positive set of testimonials regarding regarding selling handmade products on Etsy. So we were in search of some kind of platform which can take us globally. And for a startup, it's quite difficult to arrange everything. I mean, all the documents and to register everywhere. So it was pretty easy in Etsy. It was very easy in Etsy, I must say. And the terms of Etsy were very much understanding as a seller. And also, lockdown has simplified and proved the importance of the online market, and it's the market of future. And maybe rather than spending finances in a brick mortar studio, why can't we spend in an online store? So in that way, maybe we can also channelize our funds for enhancing products and for customer experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So now back to the product. Can you tell me a little bit more about bamboo and what makes it different from any other material?
Bamboo actually has a lot of potential, and it's a very unique material. I can go for days while listing down its characteristics. Actually, when compared to wood, bamboo fiber is like 2 to 3 times stronger than timber. And also it's way lighter than wood, and bamboo can flex, which makes this material stronger and immune to withstand considerable impacts. That's the reason why you can see much sleeker section in our furniture designs and our accessory designs as well. Further, it's one of the fastest growing plant that grows to maturity in just 5 years or less. While other hardwood species, if I'll compare that, I mean, it takes like 30 to 40 years. And it's also, the bamboo is also categorized as a renewable source of energy. And one more thing, it also releases 35% more oxygen than equivalent strands of trees. That's the reason why it's, I mean, I can go on and on.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, it's almost too good to be true. It's got all of the physical properties and it's environmentally friendly. So yeah, it's just so great that you are, kind of showing what the potential of bamboo can be through your brand, and hopefully it inspires many more people. I'd actually love to see some of your products. I know that you've prepared a short presentation on that. So if you can see some of your products and the process of making some of these beautiful home decor items.
Yeah, we actually start with designing the products, and while making a prototype, we start procuring bamboo from local vendors and farmers. Then the selection is quite important since there are like the selection of the species, what I mean to say, since there are like 16 species that is commercially available in India, and each species has its individual characteristics. For example, let's say if I want to make a woven pattern for for let's say one of our lights, so we choose Dendrocalamus tulda. So these kind of species have internodal space which is very large, and even the fibers are can be splitted in a very simple manner. So and let's say if I want to make a furniture which has solid circular bamboo section and which has a mechanical characteristic, then we'll choose Dendrocalamus strictus, which has a very solid section and has got mechanical characteristics as well. So in that manner we choose certain kind of species of bamboo to make products out of it. And next, to increase the shelf life of bamboo, it has to undergo an organic and chemical treatment, and then dried slowly. And with all the raw materials and the design available, our heritage artisans start spreading their magic they are carrying from generations.
Yeah, I'm just seeing some of the products in the presentation.
Yes. So
yeah, I mean, the photography as well, like I'm just amazed by the entire composition of it. Looks beautiful. So the next question that I have is that in all these years of creating such varied products, how do you keep a balance between design, functionality, and minimalism?
For me, design and functionality and minimalism are the key basic of any product. When we think about creating a product, the design must include static, functional, and minimalistic element as an integrant. Good design is also all about keeping the balance between all elements, what I believe. And I research, I innovate, and I improve until I have reached that balance. My approach while designing a product is first to create a basic structure considering the functional aspect of the design. Once it solves the purpose, it will have a defined form to it. Then later I tweak the form to make it more aesthetic by incorporating maybe different material and colors, while keeping in check that it's simple and minimalistic in terms of manufacturability as well.
Right. Okay. And so, based on the foundation of the business and the purpose of the brand, what is in store for Studio Mianzi in the future now?
If I'll talk in short-term basis, so we are currently focusing on to produce furniture and accessories which can be used in a living space or a bedroom. And so we are currently working on sofa sets and beds and credenza, also on wardrobe. And if I'll talk about long-term scalability, so see, there's the time of industrialization 4.0. So we want to take technology and want to integrate with the traditional methods. So that this can help very much our artisans to create and to come up with something more and something very different. And also the standard of the product will keep on increasing with that. So yeah.
All right, great. Excited to see what's new, and we'll keep definitely tracking your business through your Etsy shop and more.
Sure.
And finally, what is your advice to someone who's just starting out on Etsy? What should they definitely take note of?
I must say it's very easy. Starting a store on Etsy is like very simple, very, very simple. And the terms are very friendly. No need to fret. Sign up, just start uploading your pictures, good quality pictures would be my recommendation. And your store will be getting clicks before you know it. And yes, and one more thing, and make sure that your quality is up to the mark.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we actually have some, that was actually my last question from the fireside chat, and I'll quickly move on to the audience questions because there are some questions specifically on, elements of your shop. So the first one is any tips on product photography, which is something personally I would also love to know about.
So what I usually do is I follow certain kind of trends. I follow a few websites and a few interior designers and also product designers. And I see what kind of trends are getting into, and I take some kind of reference images and I try to replicate that with our products also. So that's how I usually do, and that's the, I mean, if you want to be safe, and so that's the best way to go on to the photography of a product.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. The next question that we have is more specific to Etsy. It's about using tags, and if you have any tips for sales enhancement on Etsy that have worked for you specifically.
Honestly, I mean, I'm not very much knowledgeable about these things, but initially when we started, we used to tag, which is very much relatable to it. Let's say if I'm putting this thing. Ceiling lamp, let's say. So tags which is related to that lamp, maybe the material as well, the ceiling lamp, the lighting, the ambience. Those tags you can use obviously, and that will help the user to find something what they need.
Right. Yeah, I think definitely material. What is the use of the product? All of those would be pretty important to get your product discovered.
Right.
We have a question from Rinmoy Rajput, who is asking that do you track what the buyer's demand is, and is that something that you incorporate into your product design?
Not currently. I mean, being a startup, it's quite difficult to even see these kind of questions. But you have to make note out of it, because see, there's a whole lot of energy and whole lot of things which goes behind. I mean, in the terms of finances and also in terms of resources. So you have to make a note out of it initially, and then later on when you will start accelerating, then maybe you can have a look into those. And what I was talking previously was you have to have confidence in your product before you launch. So you must, I mean, you must have a feeling that okay, it will run, it will go. Then maybe the demand of the user, according to that, maybe you can work upon it and maybe design up, maybe come up with design which will fulfill the requirement.
Makes sense. I just, we've been I've been asking constant questions. I'll give you a 2-minute break and I'll direct a few questions to Anushka. Anushka, we have a few questions from which were dropped in the form and from the audience questions, which are the first one is around Afzal Khan is asking about selling visibility and customer care. What are the services that Etsy provides in this area?
Okay, so right now we have a team who are working for onboarding sellers and giving them support even after their shop is open. So regarding the visibility and customer support, if your shop is opened, we have a team who will help you with the visibility part also. And at the same time, they'll help you with optimization, in short, to make your shop fully visible and fully optimized so that people are attracted towards your shop. So we have a team who will help you, and you can see a link in the chat box and you can fill a form, and the concerned person will get in touch with you. So you'll be Etsy will support you in every manner which is required for the new seller to grow their business on Etsy.
Thanks. Another question from Aparna Garg is how to price international courier, and does Etsy give any recommendations on which courier service to use?
Okay, so right now, there is no compulsion for the seller to use a particular shipping company on Etsy. But still, we have one integrated partner, which is Yakit, because most of the sellers are new to the e-commerce field, so they are not much aware about the international shipment. So that's why we have started one integration with Yakit. And if you want to work with a separate company other than Yakit, you have full flexibility to choose your own shipping company. So there is if the product is bigger in size, then you can because there is no such recommendation, you can just choose any company which is suitable, which is nearby to your home, because few companies will provide you pickup, few companies will not provide you the pickup service. So you need to keep that in mind. So this will reduce your shipping cost basically. But yeah, there is no compulsion for the sellers to choose a particular shipping company on Etsy. Yeah, if you comparatively, the charges differs. India Post is cheaper than other companies, but yeah, if you'll go with other companies, the tracking is much better other than India Post. If you'll go with DHL, FedEx, but yeah, there is no such recommendation. You can choose any company which is suitable for your products. So it depends on the product and the size of the product.
Got it. And another question, Anushka, from Harshita Singhal is how to set up a shop on Etsy. So what are the steps for that?
Okay, so Etsy is a very simple and user-friendly platform. We have only 5-step process of setting up a shop on Etsy. So I'll be helping you, I'll be just telling you the 5 steps which we have in the onboarding process. So first of all, you need to go to the browser. Any browser will work. You need to type www.etsy.com. Then Etsy website will get open. On the right-hand side top, you'll find the sign-in option. When you click on the sign-in option, you'll find the registration link. You just need to get yourself registered with your email ID. After the registration is done, you will find the first step, which is shop preferences. There you need to choose your shop country, your suitable currency, and your suitable language. After that, the second step will come, which is name your shop. So you need to give the name to your shop, and that will be your name for your Etsy shop. That is editable. So if you want to change it, you can change it later on. The third step is stock your shop. So you need to add one product for setting up your shop on Etsy. So you need to add one picture and fill few details, which is also editable. So you can change it later on. And the fourth step is how you will get paid. So for Etsy, for setting up a shop on Etsy, for receiving the payments, you need to have a business PayPal account. So you need to type your business PayPal email address over there. And at last, the step is set up billing. You need to fill your card details, which will be the card from which you are going to pay to Etsy in future whenever the bill generates. That is also editable. So you can even change the card later on if you want to do it. After completing all these 5 steps, open your shop will highlighted. You need to click on that and you'll be live on Etsy. After that, we have our team also, who is as I already mentioned, we are helping the sellers to get their business grow on Etsy. So they'll help you in onboarding, plus they'll help you in listing process and how to decorate your shop to make it attractive. And at the same time, making you comfortable with the website. So if you want to start your shop, we have a link, and the concerned person will get in touch with you for shop opening. Even if your shop is open, if you have any concern, you can fill a form. We have a support team who will help you in any further queries if you have. At the same time, for making it more easier for the new sellers to come up on Etsy, we are providing 30 listings free to our initial sellers, so that they can list their product without investing a single rupee. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Anushka. And I will direct my next few questions to you, Shashank. So one question we have from Jayant, who has mentioned that he is your friend who has joined us for the session. And he's asking about the future of interiors. So he says that we're in an era where everyone wants to have a designer home. There are startup and designer firms working on modular furnitures. Do you have any plans of expanding your services from selling exclusive products to moving to a modular-based interior design service exclusively of bamboo products?
Yes, we are working, and what we envisioned for Mianzi was actually creating modular things. So we have started making modular things. If we'll just look up the product, the chair, what I mean to say, the butterfly chair, if you will just see, then it's being made up of like 8 parts, and the reason why we made it like that, because it's very easy to package it in a very small box, and it's quite easy to ship it as well, and the shipping cost will also get reduced. And also there's a product called Hive in our product catalog, and it's totally modular, so a user can increase or decrease the size of that wardrobe, and they can use according to the space that they want and according to the ambience that they want. Let's say if they want to keep that in kitchen, so the modules are designed for the kitchens, and also the modules are, if someone wants to keep them in a bedroom, or let's say in a living room, so the modules are designed accordingly. So yes, we are looking forward to this modular system, and we are working along for this. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, look forward to seeing that as well. Yeah, and I noticed the butterfly chair, the way that it kind of came apart and got packed into a very, very, small package, which is definitely will be pretty easy to ship, and especially on Etsy, where most of the shipments are going to be international. So that must be quite a popular product. Another question that we have from Saurabh is that apart from bamboo, is there any other sustainable material that is in your mind that you want to work with in the future?
So currently what we are working is with a bamboo, and we take any other material as a secondary material. Let's say, so yes, we will be working with other sustainable material, but as a secondary material, but bamboo will be the primary material, because we are stuck onto this material, because we did a lot of research in this material, and doing knowing about a particular material takes a lot amount of time. And also to come up with new machineries and technology which can be done with that particular material, that also can be done after a lot of research. So yes, so we will be looking forward with other sustainable material as well, but in a secondary way.
Got it. The one question that we got in the form from Linda Moses was, how much lead time do you usually offer to your customers? So is this something that's created on order, or do you create a few things in stock and then ship?
So most of the things what you're seeing in our website, on our Etsy page, usually we have those on stock. And let's say if something customization or something like that comes upon, so we first check how is the design and what's the quantity that what they require, and if it works with the manufacturing in terms of manufacturability and feasibility, then we take like about 15 days as a lead time.
Okay, got it. There was actually a question that I had, which is that Etsy is, we have a lot of international buyers on our platform. So which is the most interesting or your favorite country that you've got a buyer from on Etsy?
Most of the buyers are from United States, and a few of them are also from UK and Australia as well. So one experience, if I'll share. So one customer was there in US, and she didn't knew about the custom duty charges. So initially she freaked out that I need to pay this much amount for custom duty charges and all, but she eventually paid, and when the product reached to her, she was really surprised and she was really happy. And she also gave recommendations and also typed a review on our page as well.
Yeah, beauties can be a small hiccup, but I think the product usually, it's usually worth it. So it's something that is personally also, like, even if I have to pay duties, when I receive the product, it just, you completely forget about that, because you know that it's been sent with so much love and care that it's very easy to, kind of forego that minor hiccup. One question, I think it's kind of between two people. Mahesh has also asked this, and Satakshi is asking this. Any tips that you have for young designers on, kind of people who might not have either studied this particular type of design or are self-teaching themselves? Any particular courses or any tips on how you can become a better designer?
See, I cannot suggest a course, but what I can say is maybe if there's a material, if you're selecting a material, let's say, and if you want to work around that material, so you have to have hands-on work with that material, and you have to come up with new designs which can be done with that material, which can be created. The products which can be created with that. And yes, so it will take a bit of time, but you will eventually know, and you will eventually understand that material, and you'll come up with nice product, I'm pretty sure, after that. So that's the only way to go about. That's the only way, because I have been working with this material. I mean, I'm with hands, since years. So then only I came to know about. Now I can I can say that I'm talking with this material. So it responds according to what you say.
Got it. So learning by doing is basically the best course that anyone can take.
Yes. It will take time, but it will happen eventually. You have to be patient.
Got it. And my last question is, how did you come up with the name Studio Mianzi?
So Mianzi, it means bamboo in Swahili, but in India, if I'll name something related to bamboo, let's say, the people will again will start thinking backwards. Like maybe it would be like something which is like people used to make traditionally in the older times. So the products will come up. So they'll have very different notion about the furniture and accessories with bamboo. So that's the reason why I wanted to keep something different, something exotic. Which will for ourselves, it will we can relate to it. I mean, we ourselves can relate to it. So it's bamboo, but people for the layman, it will be an abstract for them.
I absolutely understand. It's amazing how you balance kind of that perception, because it's true. I think people could have, because there is bamboo furniture, but it's not known for the properties that you talked about. So kind of rebranding it, but also surprising them with the new properties of bamboo that you are kind of building your brand on and the strengths of bamboo. So yeah, those are all the questions that I had for you. Thank you so much, Shashank, for being here with us today. And I thank each and every one of you for being part of the small talk session with the Etsy Collective.
Thank you. Thank you again, Nishani. And I want to thank Etsy for inviting me here and also giving us a platform to reach global. Thank you so much, Etsy.
Thanks, Shashank, for being on Etsy. Thank you, Anushka, and thank you to the entire team. Thanks for your time, everyone in the audience, and have a great weekend. Do tell us how you liked the event in the feedback form that you will receive via email, and have a great evening.